Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to our session of Your Voice is Power. We're really excited today to be bringing this to you and to know that we're reaching Ontario music educators as well, which is really lovely. Whether or not you're a music educator that is in a specific music class, or you're a generalist teacher who is doing music as well, we have something today for you that I think you're going to find is very powerful. So first of all, what I'd love to do is to just do our land acknowledgement. For me, I'm actually joining right now from the lands of the 1923 Williams Treaty. So it is the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat, Mississauga, and the Anishinaabe people. And I have to say that being from Brighton, Ontario, which is where I'm at right now, it is a great place to be right on the water as well. And I know if you're in Toronto, then obviously in that area, you're in the same land as where we are. So it's beautiful here. So I'd like to introduce first myself. I'm Mary Walker Hope. I'm just going to be the helper today. The expert in the room is going to be Bill. And so Bill, can you introduce yourself and say hi?
Absolutely. Well, I'll deflect a little bit. I think we'll have a great team here, and you have lots of expertise, especially as we narrow down into the music area. But I will introduce myself. My name is Bill Corcoran. I've been in public education for 18 years, and I live here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. So not too much further down the line in this beautiful land we live in. And so I'm super excited to be working with Mary today on Your Voice is Power. I've been really digging into this program for the last year, and I absolutely love every bit of it. So I hope that emanates throughout this session.
I think so too. Yeah, absolutely. And yes, you're right. My background is music, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That got that part coming in too. So it's great. I
Yes.
think you're going to enjoy today. All right. So just for everybody, and I have this up here for you for the QR code. It's a bit.ly. So if you would like to get this slide deck and have all the steps that Bill is going to take you through to go into Your Voice's Power. If you need it a different way right now, obviously we're going to be doing this with you live. And so you can pause anytime and just stop the video and then come right back with us again. And what we'll do in our setup is we will actually take a moment. Bill will say, okay, we're going to pause right now. We'll just on the screen, we'll just pause for about 5 seconds, and then we'll come back to you again. But you can pause at any time you want. It makes no odds at all. And so if you go to, if you're able to get into this QR code or take that bit.ly, you will find this deck already. And Bill's also put it in at the end of the workshop. So you'll be able to see it there too. All right, just some thank yous. We actually both work with Logix Academy, a bunch of amazing people who are all educators and are able to work with Microsoft and Google and Apple. And oh my gosh, we do Minecraft going through Canva. You can see all the different workshops that we can actually provide all the time. And it's all done because those companies are able to sponsor and fund the workshops. So everything is done for free, which is wonderful. Today, Your Voice is Power. We have to say thank you to Your Voice is Power and CanCode and Amazon Future Engineer. They're the companies that have provided the funding for this. And obviously as well, we want to say thank you to the Toronto Catholic District School Board for making this, this collaboration with Logix.
Absolutely. And it's so important for us to go to, whether it's a site or connect with people, ask our contacts at each board to really get a true understanding. So we're not just jumping in and speaking at you. We're trying to speak with you in terms of understanding the best we can of a board, but connecting with your, three fundamental principles here of learning, equity, and well-being. I know as we go through this program, we're going to really be talking about that knowledge and justice piece, and we're going to be talking about that justice and hope piece, which really flows out through that well-being. So we're definitely going to connect to those pillars that you have throughout this whole process.
And I love too, just the fact that Your Voice is Power is one of those programs that once the students get into it, it just, it feeds some of them completely. Like I know as a musician, it's just so incredible to start that creative process. And it's going to be great. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Bill.
Absolutely. So I think the biggest thing is we're going to jump into a little bit about what the program is. And if we can hit the next slide, there's going to be a video that, or actually, before we even do that, I had it all teed up, ready to go. But for me, this we're modeling a little bit of what we might do with the students in your class, what you might do with your students in your class. The key point is we always kind of do a gallery walk. We kind of look and say, hey, in our activation, what do we think this is going to be about? And you may not be familiar at all with what your voice's power is. So I'm going to get you to look at this image that's on screen for about a couple seconds and try to narrow down with your eyes something that jumps out right to you right off the bat and maybe gives us an inkling about what you think your voice's power is going to be about. So I'll give you about 2 seconds, and then Mary, I'm going to ask you what you think your first inkling or what you noticed is and what you think it's going to be about. So I'll give the group about a few seconds because we're not going to pause here.
No, that's right. Yeah, so for me, I actually went as soon as I see it, the colors stand out to me, and the fact that they're music notes, and that the one music note, which is the biggest one, is done in the reconciliation colors as well. So for the orange being there and the feather as part of the note. So I love the way that they've incorporated that as well, because for me, I think that the program is about having your own voice.
Absolutely. And so I would say that I definitely went that direction, but you know what? Without kind of just going into the whole piece, the word voice is so big there, right in the center. And the challenge is for that creativity of somebody to bring all these opportunities within the platform. Once we get it into it and you see it, it really can take on its own avenue based on what the child wants to go and what you're really focusing on. So voice is there, but within that music note at the bottom, you know, kind of like little tech symbols. I don't know exactly what they are, but that was the second thing I caught. So voice was first for me, and then I kind of went into, okay, well, there is a little bit of tech in here too, but it's not about the technology. It's not, there is coding opportunities, but it's not about that. You're going to see this in just a few moments. Perfect.
Excellent.
So I think, yeah, there we go. And I think what we're aiming to do after this session is not posing the question of how are music, computer science, activism, and entrepreneurship pathways to promote social justice. I usually flip it to we are actively doing. So music and this are a way to it. So we're posing the question now, how can we do it? But as soon as we jump into it, we're going to be like, okay, we are doing it, which I absolutely love. So that's the framework. So we have a video here. And before I flip over to the actual video, there's a couple things. One is I love it because it really does give a good overview of the program. But the other thing that it does talk about is a contest. And so the contest is a great opportunity for people that have gone through the program and used the tool to share their learning and say, hey, well, I've done this great work. Why not put this into it? But we're not coming at you today from, hey, this is about the contest. This is about the program, Your Voice's Power. This is about the tool of EarSketch, which is a tool that we're going to be using to create. And that's going to connect with you and be able to help support your learning opportunities and curriculum in your own class. That's the entry point. So when it talks about the contest, don't at the beginning of this part say, oh my goodness, that's a lot. Ignore that piece for now. We'll come back and talk about it a little bit. All right. So I'm going to add this video in here. You'll make sure that you can hear it. We've tested it out. So that is great and good to go. And here we are.
The Your Voice's Power contest will launch in early 2022 and will provide middle and high school students with the opportunity to learn about coding and social justice through music. EarSketch is the coding software created by Georgia Tech University that allows students to turn code into music, along with beats and loops provided by artists like us.
On déconstruit une chanson pour pouvoir en créer une nouvelle. Donc, je pense que c'est la plus belle expérience qu'on peut faire avec une chanson déjà existante.
I think learning to code is really important these days, especially for young Indigenous people to get involved with the technology that is continuing to advance in today's society.
Hip-hop is a celebration of culture, energy, intellect, self-expression, and survival. Hip-hop teaches us that our voice is power.
You might not be aware of the light and how bright you are, but you have to know that you are capable of inspiring other people.
Maintenant, il est temps d'utiliser cette voix à travers la musique et le codage. Alors, êtes-vous prêts?
The time is now to create your remix. Let go of your inhibitions, don't be afraid to share your voice, and write from the heart.
Vous êtes un programmeur. Faites des rythmes, apprenez le codage, promouvoir l'équité.
And I can't wait to hear what you come up with.
Amazing. I think there's just so many opportunities, and it's always a good chance to see if anybody's recognized any names in that video in your class. Like I pick up on Dakota Bear and all. Of course, the focus on Your Voice is Power in Canada here is that connection to the Indigenous roots as we identified within our kind of gallery walk on the first slide.
That's right. Oh, that's great. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Can I bring us back to this then
We
as
are
well?
here. Yeah,
Excellent.
absolutely.
That's great. Okay, so we wanted to talk as well about how this actually does fit in with your curriculum. And we'll do this quickly as well so that, again, we're getting the chance to get you right in and take a look at the program itself. But the curriculum expectations, and I'm going to have Bill talk about the global competencies first, and then we'll go into where the music curriculum comes into this as well.
Absolutely. I think when we talk about a holistic thinker and we really want people to connect with what the possibilities are, even outside. Of course, we know in our curriculum documents, we have many skills that are just outside of the specific and overall expectations that we deal with every day. And even connected with the Catholic graduate expectations that you have, that creative and holistic thinker, like I mentioned, like we all are intertwined on here. So these transferable skills, global competencies, 6Cs, whatever, lingo you have going on right now, the end thing is there. We're looking at creativity in here. We're looking at critical thinking. We're looking at digital literacy, communication through what this means. And of course, in global citizenship, we are looking at, well, you know what? How can we be an activist in this case? Look at social justice. So it hits all these transferable skills and global competencies along the way. And we just wanted to highlight that that's something that is intertwined in all of this.
Excellent. Yeah. And so, I mean, you all know as music teachers, the creative process is one of the things that we're always trying to find things that can work with this. And this program actually like embodies this completely. You'll be exploring, you'll be revising, you'll be producing preliminary works, you'll be getting feedback from other people and reflecting about things. You'll be challenging yourself and presenting it in the end if you want to as well. And as Bill was talking about, if you wanted to throw this into the contest that Your Voice is Power does, then that's even another way to do it. But it's not about the product. It really is about the whole process. Yeah. And so the creative process is very integral into what's going on here. But also what I really love as well is that the critical analysis process, which I always found as a music teacher was one of the harder things to make sure that I could get the kids to grasp and get into. This really comes through as well, so that you're thinking about cultural context. Your voice is power. It's your voice. So the students, it's going to be a production. It's going to be a creation that is with their voice, which is wonderful. So when they're analyzing and interpreting the music that they're listening to, what kind of beats do they use, what rhythms are going to be there, all of that comes through with their own personal point of view as well. So I love the fact that critical analysis can be there. So when we kind of think of the triangle of learning, using the creative process and the critical analysis, you're also pulling in coding, which is a huge part of of Ontario curriculum right now as well. So that just naturally comes right into this. So even if you are a generalist teacher, then you're going to be pulling this into other subjects too. And I know, Bill, you even said that you were doing this with a math focus one time as well, right? And maybe, do you want to mention that right now, how that worked for you?
I mean, absolutely, because within even the math curriculum, you have distinct foci on coding right now, as you get into the algebra area. And I think it's just important because you identified right off the bat, Mary, that yes, we're definitely focused here on music teachers. However, there are generalist music teachers, and I taught grade 5 and 6, and so I'm using this program with those grade levels too, because it does hit those curriculums, and the entry point of the tool is actually depending on your group. I think you'll see that you can use it very well, but it connects very much so with all your colleagues that may be teaching music.
Yeah. So Bill, if you want to go over to Your Voice is Power for me,
absolutely,
that'd be great. And we'll just take this is the site that you're going to be going on to, and right up at the very top for the for teachers, under the for teachers tab, there's actually curriculum alignments. And so we scroll down to Ontario. They've already done this for us, which is amazing. Go into arts education, which is the second tab. And right there, it goes into all the details of all the different curriculum expectations that it attains. So you'd have to do the grade 5 and 6 yourself as well. But I see the 5 and 6 even being, what an amazing way to, like, maybe you're bucket drumming. And so the kids are able to take a bucket drumming rhythm. They're able to put that right into Your Voice's Power, and then they sing along to it, right? So it's not that this has to be, everything has to be in Your Voice's Power. It can be that they use it as a soundtrack to be able to do something else. April is coming up. That's Poetry Month, right? So so the kids write a poem and they create something that has the correct mood and the timbre, all that kind of stuff that you can pull into it. That's the assignment for them, is to go through the process of having something that, as they read their poem or as they sing their poem or whatever, however they do it, they have that that music that then evokes the correct emotion that they're wanting their audience to have. So things like that are very cool. So if you go right into Your Voice's Power, you'll see those curriculum expectations that are all there. And that's for grade 7 right up to grade 12. And right in it as well, one of the biggest things for 9, 10, and 11, and 12 is that it actually states right off the bat for music arts and arts integrated, is that it's applying the creative process to create music through coding while using tools and technology to enhance the learning experience. And so boom, if check, 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 check. You got it all. Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's one of the big questions we have, is like, how is this? And this is for any industry, but especially for the music industry, is like, how is this becoming part of it, in terms of even just our kind of, we'll use the word digital audio workstation when we're in there, but there's a lot of technology behind the creation of some of the songs, when everybody's still creating everything individually and in real time, but how they're piecing it together is just is mind-boggling. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of what we're kind of getting to today, we've highlighted the 4 teachers, and there's coding support and teacher training. We're kind of being your teacher training today. But there is some modules there, and there is 8 modules, which can seem overwhelming, but we're really merging some of them in this intro session today. So we're not going in there to looking at it. You're getting a blend of module 1 and 2 already today, but it's good to click around and kind of see where it's going, because there are extension activities. There is even prompts on, how music and coding and the industry is affecting. You can use that as like an open-ended prompt for your class. So there is extension activities in there that you can absolutely use. And here's some of the extensions right here that I was referring to. AI songwriting, our code. And of course, it talks about that submit is that it's just really related to our a contest near the end. But for today, Your Voice's Powers, as we're showing, it's one piece of the puzzle, which is over here, and it uses, as mentioned in the video, a program called EarSketch, created by Georgia Tech University. So once you're at yourvoicespower.ca, you'll get to this piece, and on the very top right, you have Start Coding, and that gets you into the EarSketch platform. So that's when we're going to be in our live environment today. The slide deck has, like Mary mentioned, all the sort of screenshots that if you want to revisit, but remember, you can pause this video in the moment, and we will pause and say, you do this now. So we're going to be able to do that. But before we go into the live environment, Mary, did you want to add anything?
I think that's great. I think we're ready. Yep.
Okay. I think so too. So yeah, I'm just going to get ready. I'm just opening up. I clicked on, you may not have saw it, but I clicked on Start Coding. It's opened up in a different tab, and I'm going to click Share this tab instead. And here we go. So when you first get to here, it's going to say, welcome to EarSketch. I always kind of in a second session get people to go through it, because it does give it a nice example that you can model and mentor from. But today we are your sort of introductory walkthrough. So if this pops up on your screen, I'm going to click on skip for now. And a couple of things we need to look at here, and we'll do a walkthrough in just a few moments. But the biggest thing that a lot of school boards have is around creation of accounts. What I love about this program is that when you look at any personally identifiable information, this does not capture it. The ability to make an account here is not kind of worrisome from that security standpoint, because you're not giving that information that it would be on there. And what I mean by that is at the top here, it's very small at the top. You can kind of see me hovering around. It says create or reset account. When I pop it up, it says register a new account. And this is what pops up. So your students and yourself, which we're going to give you a few moments to do in just a moment, is creating a username. So usually it's going to be like, for me, mine was bcore and a number. Like that's my name with a number. Like it shouldn't be something that is, you know, definitely representative of that kid. It could be an animal, a number, whatever. The password, again, great to kind of store it in a place that's going to be remembering. The only thing it does ask, and it does say optional, so it's totally up to your board and where your kind of directive is. You can put your an email address in. Now, of course, this would be your student's email address, your school board email address. And the only reason why you would want to do that is because it's if you forget the password. We know sometimes the students do that. So it's not creating these accounts. It's not collecting any information. The email is only really just so you can keep your account and all the great work accessible if they forgot the password. So for you, the teacher, the educator in the room right now, I want you to take a few moments to create a username and then click create a password that you're going to remember, put it in that process that you're going to have it. And of course, I would encourage you to put your email, but you know what the directive is at the school board level. And then once you get in there, feel free, while after you've done that, to come back and we'll go kind of on another gallery walk that I'll lead.
Perfect. Okay.
Yes.
There you go. And Bill, I'm going to let you keep going.
Yeah. So we're good to go here. I'm going to log in here so you kind of see a little bit more on your screen of what's going. So we have the ability to go on a gallery walk right now, and I'm kind of going to lead you through it, starting at the sort of right-hand side. This screen right now, you don't have a lot going on because we don't have any of our audio tracks. We don't have different items that you're going to see, but it will get a little bit more busy as we go through. On the right-hand side, you see the word curriculum at the very top right, just under the blue banner. That word curriculum, it's very helpful. That's our help box that we can have when we want to support. If you are in between a session or you have a question, you can search in here. Your students can search in here. But in the meantime, it can take up a lot of real estate on your screen, especially when you're on a smaller screen or on a Chromebook or whatever device you're using. So I usually encourage the students and yourself to click the little toggle button, which is right next to the curriculum, and kind of hide it. But don't worry, it's still right up there and you can bring it back. At the top, you also have different dark color themes for people if they want to work it with a different screen colors, which is helpful, the different text font sizes, things. So a lot of accessibility features that you have across the top, which is great. And then ultimately, the ability to move your screen around once it gets busy. It's really hard to see, but my cursor is hovering over a little grid, a 2x7 little dots right here in the middle. And you can see that an arrow pops up with chevrons on both sides, and you can move it and make it bigger and smaller as you go through here and at the bottom. And you'll see me do this innately as we go through and start building. So right now it doesn't make sense, but you'll be able to look at it and see. At the top, here's that word digital audio workstation that I mentioned. You're going to see things pop up as we build. Here's the code editor. That's going to be that editor sort of key piece where we're going to actually do our coding. And on the left-hand side, you can toggle the content manager off if you needed to. But for the part of this session, we're not going to be closing that because it's all about what's here on the content manager for this session right now. Key thing when you're working with students and even for adults and educators is that you do need to allocate some time for people to click around and listen. So sometimes headphones are handy, but just hearing it at a small volume is great too, because you get to kind of hear what your students are doing. But we're going to give you a few moments to click around and kind of make some noise in this way. And then also we ask our students and our group in live sessions, like, are you noticing any artists here? Are you connecting with any of these artists? So for example, when we pause, I want you to go through the left-hand side here under the content manager, start with the artists, and I'm going to click on, maybe I'll click on Dakota Bear. You're able to you can see that there's a clear filter at the top, because once you start clicking on things, there'll be narrowing down to the options and the sound clips that you have. But as I scroll down, you're going to be able to see, okay, you got beats and different things. I'm going to click on the play button and hear it as much as, because it's very low. Every soundbite is segmented, very small from the artist, and it can be a piece of a beat, it can be a piece of a vocal. And for instance, if I click on Alicia Keys and we're clicking on the acoustic guitar, I love this one myself. I love hearing that. I love acoustic guitar. I play acoustic guitar. You can notice that on the side here, there's a little star button.
Yes.
And that's favoriting it. And so we're going to be able to ask you to try to find 3 to 5, I'll say 5 right now, sound clips. And right now we're in the artists, and that's a lot of narrowing down, but you can absolutely go into instruments and then look at strings, find a variety of different sound clips, at least 5, so we can start using that to build in our next segment. Was there something when you went into this section, Mary, the first time you were dabbling it, that you thought to yourself?
Well, you know what happened to me was I didn't realize that my when I had Alicia Keys, let's say, already clicked on, and then I went over to instruments, then as you said, it still kept the filter of Alicia Keys, so I had to remember to remove that filter to go into just instruments and see all the things. So that was one thing that I noticed when I did it. So for our friends to be looking at that as well.
That's right.
No, and no, I don't. There's not one right now that I can think of. I enjoyed it. I just clicked through a whole bunch. But as you said, we're going to give them a couple minutes right now. You can take as much time as you want.
Yes.
We'll just go away for 5 seconds, and then when we come back, then Bill's going to tell you what you get to do with these. Don't forget to star it to make it your favorite, because that's something that Bill's going to show you what to do with next.
That's right. And you will notice, if you're wondering, am I doing it right? You will see it at the right-hand side next to the little play buttons, the star, but at the top, it's kind of tucked in a little bit under the artist names or the instrument names here in your content manager. There's a little toggle here that says show only. And if you click that on, if you think, hey, do I have 3 or 5? I can't remember at this point, because there are at the top, you can see over 5,000 sounds. And it's also a good point to talk about even copyright, because these artists have donated their music here to this program. So it's a good speaking point about intellectual property and what that means along. But that's a sidebar. For now, we're going to give them time to click around and find at least 5 little sound clips that kind of speaks to them. They can be random too. We won't know. And we'll go from there. So let's give them a few minutes to tinker around on this, Mary.
Sounds good. Have fun.
Yeah, enjoy.
All right, you're back, Phil.
I know. This is where I wish I was in the room, because I love seeing the expression on people's faces as they start hearing music or connecting with a beat or a song. They're like, oh, I forgot that artist did this, or this beat's pretty cool. You can see their, feet tapping, or, just the smiles on their faces as they go through. So yeah, basically what we're going to do today is we have 2 more sort of goals. One is to look at tempo of a song, and that will come near the end. And then the other one is just saying, let's get some music clips in there, and just to understand what this program is and can do. Because once we launch, basically you can go as deep as you want with this tool, but the infinite potential is there. But for us, we're just going to start with one function, and it will be simple, and you'll be called coders as soon as you already know. A lot of people come in and say, oh my goodness, I'm going from this like block coding, or maybe I'm not even familiar with block coding. I'm going to start coding with text. The word Python is like, oh my goodness, what, like, this scares me away, but it shouldn't, because you're going to see what I'm going to do, and you're going to be like, okay, by this, you're going to be an Amazon future engineer right by the end of this, right? So the key thing in the middle, I think you've probably visually saw it, is in the blue. It says click here to create a new script, and that's what we're going to click on today. And this box is going to pop up. I'm going to call it test TCDSB. You can call it something that makes sense to you. Of course, you can rename it as we go. Sometimes people just choose the day. There is an option here, and you can't see it actually pop up on your screen, I don't think, but you have the ability to use JavaScript. So if there was ever a student that really wanted to jump in there that really was more familiar, I know my oldest son is like, I'd rather use JavaScript. I'm like, hey, whatever floats your boat.
Yep, do it.
But in this case, for us modeling and entering, we're going to do Python 2, and there's a Python 3 in beta. We're not using that one, and I'm going to click on create. So when you click on create, you're going to have your code editor. You're going to see a couple things. I'm going to make it a bit bigger on the screen here for you. So these are the things that, because code based on text can be so finicky, over time, we have to be careful that we don't erase anything, such as a comma or a letter, those type of things, because those are all very, very important in the instructions of the code. So for this one, we're not really going to do anything with what showed up on what we're calling here line 1. It says hashtag or number sign description. It's going to be important to know that as you go through, and we'll speak to it later, is that hashtag in there actually tells this code editor that we're just putting a text. It could be an instruction, it could be a reflection as we go through. Whereas we get into line 4 here, it says set tempo 120. We'll talk a little bit about that afterwards, but set tempo is a function. It's telling the code editor, what are we doing? So it's obviously setting it to 120. Right now, you don't have any context for it, but when you divide the number 120 and you talk about beats per minute, you will make a connection. I no doubt you music teachers will. So I'm going to click. Sometimes people click at the end of 120, or they just, what I do is get them to click next to line 5. You see the cursor kind of flashing on the screen, and I'm just going to hit enter probably about 4 or 5 times. 1, 2. That doesn't matter. What I want to do is separate ourselves from the top, which is line 1, 2, 3 is empty, and 4 is there. For today, and I'm just going to move the screen over a bit so we can see it because everything I brought bigger. We're going to use a function, which is how do we get basically our music, our sounds into somewhere where I can actually hear it and start making music in that way. So there's going to be a function called fit media. And right now that means nothing to you, except that's what we're going to use. And there's going to be some numbers in there as I type them in there, which might mean nothing to you until we show you an example. But basically this function is going to say, what sound are we using? What track do we want it on? And the track will be at the top, and it kind of looks like lanes on a highway once we get going. And then it's going to be like, where do we want it to start and stop? And it's not going to be using time in terms of seconds. It's actually going to be used by measure, which is going to be a great way to connect with it as we go through. So the great thing is it fills it in for me every time. It kind of does that predictive text. So as I start writing, I'm on line 6, and I start writing fit, you can see that it actually pops up and it says fit media, bracket sound, comma, track, comma, start, and end, and another bracket. That's key thing. I'm going to click enter. So you now see it on your screen. There's the word sound. It's really hard, but I think you can see it, Mary, as it's coming through. The word sound is defaultly all highlighted.
Got it. Yep, I can see that.
That's really handy because what I can do is I can go to my track right off the bat. If I don't click anywhere, if I click somewhere else, it's going to unhighlight and you'll just have to go back to highlighting it. I'll show you that. So if I click somewhere on the screen, you can see sound is not highlighted. I'm going to go back and highlight it. And then I'm going to go to my favorites, which is show only. And right off the bat, I can see another option beside preview sound and favorite is there. It's called copy and paste to editor. And if I click that, you're going to see in that sound area that I've highlighted, it's going to replace it. So I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, boom, it's replaced it. You can still have the comma, which is great. You have the sound bite, which is great. But sometimes what you or your students may encounter is I'm going to model it in a different way. If I go fit media, same thing, but I forget to highlight the whole word and I click in the middle. You can see that the cursor is highlighting between the O and the U in the word sound. If I click the same thing, up here in terms of the Alicia Keys sound clip paste editor, you're now going to see it actually says the word soak, which is pretty neat. I didn't intentionally do that. But here the S and the O is still in the code and the U and D over here is still in the code. And that's going to cause an error because it shouldn't be there. So of course you can just erase it. I'm going to erase the whole line. That's the key thing right here.
And Bill, how did you erase it? What did you
I
do?
just highlighted, or you can just go to the end of it and backspace, just like you normally would in a Word document or anything.
Perfect. And I like that as well. I'm just because your cursor is quite small for us to see, just to remind people that obviously you went and you favorite, you're going to have your 5 or 3 or 5 favorites that are over here now. And beside the little orange star it's a blue little icon, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Right on the left
And
hand
that's what
side,
they're
a blue
clicking on.
icon. It's a clipboard with a little piece of paper.
Perfect.
Yeah. Great. And I always have the accessibility feature on, so I do apologize, like kind of have a big cursor. So man, I apologize to the group here for not having that feature on, which is there. But thank you for sharing that and calling that out. I appreciate it. And I apologize to the group.
No problem.
So here's the key thing is that we now have our sound clip in here. We have that comma. We kept the bracket. Now the track here is basically the highway, the road that we're going to look at, and you're going to try to connect with that in a minute. So right off the bat, you don't have to know what a track is. I'm just going to start with the number 1. And the next track will be number, what do you think, Mary?
Maybe number 2.
Yes, exactly. So we're not trying to trick you here. So I'm going to put the number 1. And then to start, it's actually going to be the measure that we're going to talk about, but you can start it at 1 and you can end it. For example, the first time I created my song, I chose the number 8. That's great. You're going to see how it connects, but then you're going to probably extend it a little bit. You might shorten it as you put more tracks and say, where do all these sounds come together? So these are all subjective. They're all going to be iterative to start. You're going to tell your story of what sounds right to your ear as you go through.
And I love the fact too, this is just another one of those things about showing their learning, right? They know that if they're doing a song that's going to be in 4/4 time, then they're wanting their numbers to actually be going in counts of 4. If they're going to try and make a waltz and do something that's in 3/4 time, then they're going to be looking at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, right? So it's neat too to be thinking that way as well. This already starts showing their learning, showing that their understanding of the process and everything as well.
Yeah, it's a great connection and point. And then when you look at the sound bites and the sound clips, the way they're presented, some of them are very short that need to repeat within all those measures and sounds and timing, and some are really long. So how does that fit into not just the timing of things, but what it looks like when you actually hit run here and it starts showing itself up in the digital audio workstation?
So can we hit run now just to see what that sounds like?
Ready? Right, 3, 2, 1, go. And so at the top, you now see, and you can use these extra options to make it smaller and bigger. You see the plus and minus items here.
Oh, sorry, got to see
the very top. Yeah, very top here, just above the word run. You can kind of make it bigger and smaller.
And run is that green button that's in the middle of their screen.
Yeah. So the key thing to know is that our code editor is an editor. Everything's in draft form until you hit run. So if you build something or add a track or change, where it starts or stops, it's not going to automatically change what's up here in the digital audio workstation until you hit run. So it's like code editor, run, look up at the top at the digital audio workstation, and then edit at the bottom. So again, kind of just like it's very circular and iterative in that instance. But at the top, you can see that I will play it for you in just a moment. This is now track 1. You can see track 1 here is on the left side. At the top, you see the amount of time in seconds. So you can see 0, 2, 4, 6. And then the measures here, 1, measure 2, 3, 4, all the way up to measure 8. And that's why we created that, because it stops at measure 8, because we told it right here to stop at 8 here in the code. So that changes. So let me play it. It's just so you can kind of hear. It's going to be similar to the sound that I've already played, but you're going to see it across the top because there will be a line that goes across, but you can toggle that. You can see auto scroll. Here's a metronome that can go on. It kind of helps with the beat. I'll do it twice and you'll see it. A little bit faster than when we first experienced it.
Yeah. And of course we can change that tempo anytime down in the code.
All right, so I'm going to go back here and we're going to add some more media, but I want you to hear with the sort of the metronome. So I'm going to click that on and click here.
I mean, that's not helps you with that.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So absolutely. That's where we're at. So right off the bat, you are now coders. You've added a track in here. The next thing we're going to do is just add another sound. That's what our goal is today. For the rest of this session is I'll throw in like 2 more, I think. But your time on is going to be just experimenting with this and getting tracks in there. Our goal in running a session with your students in this session is like, let's get about 3 to 5 tracks in there. So we've built on, and then another session we can build on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on line 7. What's my function? What am I going to type in there, Mary? Do you remember?
You're going to put fit in again.
Fit. Yeah, it's going to pop up. I'm going to hit enter. Of course, I can type it if I wanted to, but copy and paste, I could. But in that case, I love it. Sound is already highlighted, which is great. I'm going to go to my favorites. Let's see. And let's see. I'm just going to click around.
Have you got a strings one?
Do a strings one. I'm going to do a string one too. I'm going to throw in this one. I kind of like the beat on the back, and then I'm going to get a vocal too. There we go. We'll put. I'll get you to choose the next one too. I'll play a couple. Okay. Track. What track again? We already did track 1. So
yep. So we're on to track 2 now. And let's start it at measure 4. So that we have a bit of intro with the music first.
Yeah. And then
just end it at 8 as well.
At 8 as well.
Sure.
Okay. And then what do I do now? It didn't change up top.
Oh, you need to hit the run. No, what's the black one? Oh, okay. We hit run.
Absolutely, it's hit and run. You're right on par. So I'll hit run, and you'll see another track if we've done it right. It's unique because if I put track 1 here and I hit run, there's going to be an error message that comes up at the bottom. Sometimes it's red, sometimes there. It's like it's telling you that it's overlapping on track 1 with measure 4 and so forth. So we're just working on putting one sound on each track, which is the intro part to it. But it's definitely saying that because you did it on the same track, the measures are overlapping. You definitely can't have anything in the same spot. So I'm going to go back here and just switch it to track 2.
And I love the fact that it shows up as well. So you're not sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I've done something wrong, but I have no idea what, right? It tells us the code, which is great.
It's pretty good at explaining exactly what it is that you need to do.
Good.
Or look for. So now we've clicked run. And at the top here, we now have this. I'm going to reset it to the beginning and I like that intro.
Oh, that's so cool. It's just built. That was a lovely build. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna let them play. You can keep adding things, but I'm gonna do a pause and play, so you can just, if you want to throw some things in, that'll be great. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay, we're gonna let you pause and play. Have fun.
Yeah.
I know you added another one, so that's good.
I know. Yeah, I'm ready to go because I want to put a vocal in, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of different like that. Yeah, and you can see a lot of them are right into our kind of different ones we have. Alicia Keys. There we go. There's a lot of different ones there.
And I love to. Okay, so I think because I'm looking at our time here as well, and we want people to be able to. We want to respect that we're not going over time here. But can you just show as well what would happen if we want to add our own vocal? Because that just hearing that vocal, why don't we just see what happens if we add our own?
It's wonderful. So I think the question we get is like sometimes you don't connect with every single sound, and you want to bring in your own voice, whether it's talking or singing or your own instruments because you play it, or there's a distinct sound of your community that you wanted to incorporate here. As you go through the process, you can definitely make your own sound and bring it into the platform so it can be embedded into it. And this is under right next to where the show only, where your favorites were, and we click on add sound.
Perfect. And so I love this feature, as I said, especially even for the younger classes as well. Just the excitement those kids will have when they hear their own music, right, coming through, and for whatever kind of even if it's an integration with language arts or with another subject, it's neat. Or figuring out this could even be a track that they make up for a dance routine that they need to do for their dance curriculum as well, right? Any of that kind of stuff can come into this too.
Yeah, and they're just creating this separately and uploading it in this case. You also have the ability just to quick record in here. I'm going to allow this, and then you can kind of see that it's not recording right now, but you can choose the tempo it's going in at. This is me speaking, so it's reflecting the sound, which is great. So you can just talk right into it, which is also amazing from that standpoint. So yeah, those are common questions we get from that, you know, their whole process. So we've kind of gone through the first session pretty much of saying, how do we get in there? Did you want to touch on the tempo before we go?
Well, just to show the tempo, we don't need to, we can give them a moment and they can play around with that as well. So if you just want to show the tempo change.
Yeah, so obviously we talk to our students about if we go lower, we know that it's going to be slower, and whether it represents our emotions in different ways, as sad or just melancholy. But again, I can click run after I do it. The lowest as you can go is 45, and the highest is I think in the mid 200s. But I'm going to click on run. Go back to the beginning, and you can just hear this. Oh, there was a line. Did you see that pop up?
Yes.
Because I added that one and we kind of got sidetracked.
Oh,
so that we didn't change it. So good. It even told me while we're live modeling it. And then we'll go back to the beginning. There we go. You can see that. I love it. Yeah.
And it's a totally different vibe, the way that it comes out with that as well. Okay, so I'm going to pause then for them and let everybody take a look and do a little bit more playing, and then we'll be back to wrap things up.
Yep.
All right, wonderful. Okay, should I go over to the exemplars?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's do that. And I think, so Bill, I'm going to let you talk about this, but I love when we do go to show this. This is kind of a neat thing. You know how you were mentioning before that if you put a hashtag, then it's just writing, and the coding will not pick that up at all. It's just for people who are reading the code to actually understand. And what I'd love for people to take a look at with this young lady is the one that won for the 2025 competition, right? And so in her code, you'll see that she actually is using that as her tool for annotating. And that's one of the things for grade 11 and 12 is that that's one of the things that you're supposed to do is use a tracking tool in order to explain your thinking. And so I loved when I was watching it, I was like, oh, that is so cool, because she said why she chose every single track that she had and the placement for it as well. It's all in her coding, but as a descriptor. So that was what she used as her annotating tool as well, which is neat.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing is that we find that sometimes when we show this right at the beginning, it can be so overwhelming because this is obviously an end product of the whole iterative process that we have, and you can kind of just see the things that we've started off that are in there in terms of the fit media and the voice. So it's great to go to see throughout the process to say, oh, I really like how that person can do it, because it's like talking with your partner and kind of and saying, oh, that's pretty neat. Maybe I could try to do that. You learn a lot just by doing it. So there's definitely on the slide deck, there's the 2025 winner, the 2024 and 2022. We encourage you, like when you're ready to go in there, take a look. But once you click on there, that's their code. Remember, you have to click run afterwards. It's going to show up and you click run and then it's going to show at the top. You'll be able to listen to it.
And I love too the fact that we can see here now, we were doing tracks that were just, 8 bars long, and we're looking at, she's gone on obviously past 65, like whatever, it's a nice long song that she's done. I love the fact that just the little integrations of a couple different little sounds here and there while some other things are going along forever. You can see as well, just on the second line there, that she's pulled the volume down even, right? So that you can do that. You can fade in and out with sounds as well. So there's so many extra things that can happen with this. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, love it.
Okay. So we're not going to go into the example then, Bill? No, we don't have time for that.
Yeah. Well, it's not about the time. I think it just becomes so overwhelming, but I encourage people to do that when they're ready, and they can do it now, and then listen to it and see it, because you kind of see where you can go with it too. So it's really where your mind is at the moment. Because I went in the first time, but I didn't do it before I started the session. I did it at this point of the session where at least there was context to what I was seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great idea. So just pause us if you want to, and then come back to us, right?
Yeah.
We're still going along anyways as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And these were the last four winners, I guess, the last three winners. Okay.
Yeah. And on the
So-
website, when you get to the Your Voices Power website, it's right there on the main screen, because there are some students that win a scholarship. So you're like, oh, is this only for my graduating students? No, there's 50 students that can win prizes. And that's the contest is actually open from K to 12. We talked about the grades we were catering to, but technically it's open, and they are usually announced in June, so that there are timelines and song requirements for this one, like how many tracks do you have to have, how many different sort of functions do you have. There are song requirements. If you click on this, it talks about timelines that you and your students, it's actually the perfect time now to be jumping into it, because it is getting to the spring, and this is where you would submit these with your students as you go through. And you do not have to be a graduating student to win one of these fantastic prizes, but it says two will win a scholarship. So those within that would be somebody that would do it. So it's not exclusive.
Wouldn't it be amazing, like with a grade 2 class,
Oh my goodness.
have xylophones or boom whackers, and
Yeah.
they record things, and then they sing along with it or whatever too, and they make up a song. Oh, that'd be so cool. I could,
Get some
I
bucket
can
drumming
see so
going.
many possibilities.
Yeah, I know. I could see it now. Doing the bucket drumming little shakers with rice and little toothbrush holders. And like, it's amazing. Yeah. So this is there for you. This is there for you if you want to learn more about it. And it is timely to take a look at it, because no doubt some of your students will want to do it and take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So yeah, we've got you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is the wonderful thing. You had us today, but Bill, I'll let you talk about this, because it's such a great feature of what goes on with Your Voices Power and Logix. So you go ahead and tell them all about it. It's very exciting.
Well, absolutely, because you have amazing staff at your central board office too that have provided this opportunity. We've made this connection with Toronto Catholic and Your Voices Power through Logix. And the key thing is that we do have funding to come teach your class one-to-one. The session would look very similar to this one, except you'd be able to kind of be in the classroom, because depending on where you are, obviously we know where you are here, and where your facilitator is from, it might be virtual. So having you kind of understand the context and the login process and that fit media is what the purpose is of today. However, somebody like myself or Mary could come in virtually and work with your class one-on-one, and it's free.
Yeah, totally free.
Oh, it's amazing. And then we can develop a relationship where we could come back a second session too. So there's the whole thing is possible. So this is just an interest form. And if you didn't get the link to the slide deck before, it's on the next page. We'll get it to you again, like was mentioned. We want you to be able to click on that, fill in that form. It's just an interest form, right? You're not signing your life away here. You are just filling the form saying, hey, I wouldn't mind more information about trying to coordinate this with you.
That's great. Yeah, absolutely. So that's the interest form is clicking on that link where it says interest form. And I'll go back here to the QR code as well, just to remind people. I could put the bit.ly up as well if we wanted to, just to remind them at the very end as well. Okay. So these things though are important, if you don't mind. And Bill was mentioning to me too, and I think I can say this for everyone, that if you could do the exit survey, that would be amazing. We'd really appreciate that. Not only is it just good feedback for us, but this is where Logix gets their proves that they are reaching people and gets funding. So in order to keep continuing getting the funding and making all these workshops for free, we just need to have information and feedback back from the people who are attending. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be wonderful too. And again, you get to pause and play, so it's not like you're going to miss out on this at all anywhere. Anything else you want to add to that, Bill?
No, that's perfect. We just want to keep on having these opportunities for you.
Ooh, Ed. Just a fun fact. They because the promotion is on, and Amazon Future Engineer is also one of these sponsors. They're giving away $100 gift certificate as well at the end of March. So as long as you see this before the end of March, if you see it after the end of March, you can't enter. But please feel free as well, when you fill in that exit form, then you are automatically entered to win $100 gift card. So there you go. You can buy another set of boom whackers or a class set of recorders, whatever you want.
Love it.
Okay. All right. Well, we just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for taking a chance and wanting to learn about your voice's power. And we hope that with what Bill's been able to show you and some of the connections we've been hopefully giving to you, that you think that this is an amazing tool that you're going to be able to use with your students. So Bill, do you have anything you want to finish off saying?
No, just thank you. And thank you for being a great collaborator, Mary. Appreciate it. And everybody who's joining. And then share it out. Share this tool out, because you can see it connects to many curricular areas. So you may have some colleagues at your school that you can tell that, hey, I learned a little bit more about this. And it's more about getting awareness of the program and being able to share your own voice.
That's great. And thank you, Bill, as well. It was great.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.